All right, I'm going to go ahead and get started for everyone. So hello and welcome. No, I see a couple more people are starting to kind of filter in, which is good. Welcome everyone. Congratulations on being accepted into the 2022-2023 Career Academy for MCC. Tonight, we're going to try to keep it really kind of short and sweet for you. We know it's a lot of information to kind of absorb, but we will also, we're recording this so we can send this out to you. Everything we cover will also be in that Career Academy orientation packet that I emailed to you all with your acceptance email. Okay, so this is what we will be covering tonight. Oh, and I'm Jackie Woods. I should introduce myself. Jackie Woods in Secondary Partnerships at MCC. So I coordinate the Career Academy program at MCC. So I will be the one that will be contacting you about courses, or you can contact me with any questions you might have. I will also be doing your registration every quarter, so that's something you won't ever have to worry about. I always process those registrations, and we'll talk about that as well in a few minutes during the registration portion of this. So today, I'm also going to be hosting with Nadia Williams, who is one of our early career navigators, and Ethan Schaefer, who is another early career navigator. So some of you may recognize them from being out at your schools, and they have helped a lot of the Career Academy students who have applied this year. So that is awesome that they can help me tonight. So tonight we will go over program expectations, important dates at MCC, what would happen if there's weather cancellations, registration forms. Those are the things that were emailed to you and they're program specific. They were emailed in your acceptance email. Consent and release form was also in your acceptance email. We will also talk about MyWay, which is our student portal, and that's how you will access online portions of your class, because a lot of our classes will use Canvas, which is our online learning system. And then that is also how you will access your schedule, your MCC email, all of that. And then we will also talk about the authorization to release student information, also known as FERPA. So in your orientation packet, these are the first couple of pages in that packet. So I'll briefly go over this. These are our program expectations and requirements. So the first thing that we like to talk about, because it really is like the most important, is attendance. Attendance in these courses are very important. A lot of these courses are hands-on learning, and those are things that you cannot make up in another way like you might be able to in high school. A lot of instructors have an attendance policy that if you miss more than 3 days, then they can drop you from the course or drop you from the program. We always encourage students to contact their instructors, let them know if they know they're going to be gone or if they're sick, let them know what's going on, so then that way they know what to expect and they can reach out to you with things for maybe making things up or what you can be working on while you're gone. MCC, we do not have excused absences like they do in high schools. So 3 absences is 3 absences, whether or not it's a medical release, a school related thing. So just be sure to work with your instructor, contact them if you know you're going to be gone for any reason. Our instructors are all very thoughtful and work with our students when they know things are going to come up, but that's the key, is the communication part. If for some reason you need to drop the Career Academy, like a scheduling conflict has come up, or it's just not something that you wish to do anymore, you can drop the academy, but you have to make sure you contact your counselor and contact me so we can get you dropped from MCC. When you drop a course, just because you drop does not mean that your whatever balance you might hold will go away. So that's why it's important to make sure that you drop with MCC. If it's before a certain period of the quarter, then we can make sure that any fees associated that might be on your account are dropped. But the counselor at your school will also need to know so they can rearrange your schedule at school. Textbooks. Courses will require textbooks. Most of the programs have textbooks for every quarter. Textbooks are available at each of the campuses. So if you go to the Sarpy Center, they do have a bookstore there, but they also have a lot of those books at the South Omaha campus. Books for the Applied Technology Center, where Fire Science and Diesel is, those books are available at the Fort Omaha campus. Students who go to Millard Public Schools, Bellevue Public Schools, and Papillion Public Schools, you do not have to purchase textbooks. Your school district supplies those. But everyone else, about 4 weeks ahead of time, those textbooks will be available in the bookstore. You can either order them online or go into the campus to get those. I do recommend that you get them early. Do not wait until the last minute to get those, because sometimes they run out and then you're without a book for a few weeks and then you're missing out on the learning aspect of that. Grade reports. I pull a grade report, a midterm grade report for Career Academy students and a final grade report for Career Academy students, and I send those to the counselors at your high schools. They then use those to go towards your high school requirements in whatever way your school does that. But know that they do find out what your grades are. If those grades are bad or if you're failing, that is also communicated to your parents. And if you do not receive a C average or better on your quarterly grades, then you do not get to continue in the program. Registration and tuition. So registration, those registration forms went out with your acceptance email. I did receive a lot of those back already. If you have not yet sent that back to me, please have that to me by May 20th. So then that way we can start getting students in our system and registration started. I will not start registering for fall quarter until towards the end of May. If you are in web development or the diesel program, then you will have a summer class. And so getting those to me as soon as possible is very important, so I can get your account set up and get you registered. So then that way you get a login generated, a student ID generated, things like that. As far as registration, or as far as tuition goes, breaking news is that high school student tuition for the upcoming academic year is going to be waived. So high school students who are Nebraska residents will have their tuition waived for all courses that they take at MCC. This includes the Career Academy courses. So there may be like course fees that are associated with your classes, and those are still up to the student to pay for. But other than that, the actual tuition portion is waived for high school students. So that being said, if your class does have a class fee associated to it and it is on your account and you have not paid it yet by the time I start registering students for the following quarter, then I will not be able to register you. So make sure that any of those fees get paid pretty quickly once registration happens. I always suggest within the first couple of weeks of the quarter starting to get that paid. FERPA. So FERPA, which is also our authorization to release information form, which we will talk about in detail in a little bit. But FERPA is a federal law protecting students once they are registered in a college course. So although you guys are in high school, you are protected under this law. This means that I cannot share with parents or guardians anything with your account, with your grades or anything like that until you complete an authorization to release information form. I get to share that information with the high schools because of our agreements with them. It's built into our agreements. They can then share that information to your parents, but I cannot. The most important reason why we suggest you fill out the authorization to release form, which we'll also talk about in a little bit, is if they call to submit a payment for your courses or for your account, if they're not on your account, then they can't make a payment. And so that's kind of important for them to be on your account for. Disability support services. If you are on a 504 plan or an IEP at your high school, they do not automatically transfer over to MCC. You will need to set up an appointment with a DSS counselor or advisor at the campus or center that you will be attending, and then have your IEP or 504 plan officially put on the MCC record. So then that way they can get whatever accommodations you require set up with the faculty that you will be taking courses with. The phone numbers for all of them are in this packet. Parking and traffic. MCC has ample parking at all of our campuses and centers. It is not required for you to have a parking permit in your car, but it is a very good thing to have. They are free. You can get them at any student services center at any campus or center. The nice thing about making sure you have those is, like, if somebody were to bump into your car or you left your lights on, then the MCC police know how to find you and let you know what's going on. We do have MCC police at all of our campuses and centers. They are actual police officers, not just public safety. They drive around all of the campuses. They're around the heavy parking areas. So then that way, if anything's going on, they're there to help. If for any reason you would need to contact them, their phone number is in here. I always suggest to put that into your phone. So then that way, if you ever need to contact them for anything, they're right there. We've had students actually have to call them and say, hey, I need a jump start because I left my lights on, or I locked my keys in my car. Can you guys help me? So, which is usually what they're called for, which I've actually had to call them for the lights on thing before. So that's a little not great. Student ID cards. MCC does have student ID cards. They are also free for students. Those can be, you can get those at any student services center, at any campus or center. So in the Fort campus, and it's in building 23, and then Elkhorn. Fort campus is the only one that has multiple buildings, which is a little confusing sometimes for students when they first start. The South Omaha campus does have a few buildings, so Auto Tech and Auto Body will be in a separate building than the main building, but it's really close to the main building, and that's where you would get that, that ID card. Tools and equipment. Most tools and equipment that you need will be on loan from the department. There are a few programs that you may have to purchase a few tools. You will find out that information pretty close to the beginning of the quarter. Or the first day. They'll have that information in the syllabus. So then if you need any help getting any of those things, the instructors will be able to let you know where you can find those. If you decide to transfer your MCC credits to another institution, you can do so. A lot of the area for your institutions accept our credits. We do have a transfer center at MCC where they will work with you to look at the specific for your institution you plan to go to. We also have a web page that you can go to look to see, like, course by course, what credits will transfer over. I'm gonna take a brief second here to see, Nadia and Ethan, are there any common questions that have come up that we should share with the group before I move on?
Yes, Jackie, could you please emphasize, can you answer this question? Eva Moss asked, what campus should be contacted for the Theater Academy? And I do not know the answer to that question. I do apologize.
So the Theater Academy is actually going to be held at the Omaha Community Playhouse. But if you need to speak with an advisor or a DSS counselor, you would contact the Elkhorn Valley campus. That is where the main theater program is housed. But they will be able to help you get anything on file that you need to if needed. Hopefully that answered your question, Eva. If not, definitely feel free to email me, reach out to me. I know you have my email address and my phone number. And yeah, she'll try to get that posted as well. Any other questions? I saw from Max or yes, I will still register you, even though you're already in our system. I will have to still register you, so I still will need your registration form. That is what gives me permission to register you each quarter.
Okay. The other question, it's more about registration. It seems that students are having trouble with their registration. I'm not sure if he's Daniel Janik. I do apologize if I can't pronounce the last name. Yes, if it's the registration form, if he's having questions about, or he asked, can I talk to my counselor about my registration form? I'm having trouble doing it.
Yep, if you have any questions about your registration form, reach out to me and I can help walk you through it. So the registration forms were emailed to all of the students, and they're specific to your program area. They are a fillable PDF, but if you're having problems filling out the fillable PDF, you can definitely print it, fill it out, and then email it back to me. Once I get those registration forms, then I will start at the end of May. We have to wait a little bit because they're still kind of figuring out the free tuition, the waiver tuition. And so we have to figure out how that billing is going to work yet, which is why I have to wait until the end of May to get students registered. But as long as I have your registration form, then that's great. What I can do is at the end of this week, if there's any students I don't have a registration form yet from, I can send you an email and just say, hey, heads up, I haven't gotten your registration form yet, just to let you know. So hopefully that helps. But if you, in the meantime, have a question on whether or not I have gotten your registration form, please shoot me an email and I will definitely get back to you and let you know whether or not I've gotten that. And then for Papillion La Vista school students, and Millard students and Bellevue students. Those are the school districts that provide textbooks for you. Textbooks will be available to you about a week before Metro classes start. And then you will receive an email letting you know where to pick those up. So Papillion La Vista and Millard, it's usually at your library at your school to check them out. Bellevue students, it might also be the library, but I'm not 100% sure. But they do send out an email letting you know where to get it.
This is another question I don't have the answer for. Ava also asked, when do they have to have their student ID done?
You'll get your student ID number once I register you at the end of May. And then that will also generate your MCC login. And so I would suggest, I was going to talk about this in a little bit, but I'll just say it now. I would suggest at the beginning of June, go into our password station, which we will talk about how to go through it to get into MyWay. When you choose the option saying, I do not know my student ID number or my login, you can enter in your demographic information in there, and then it will pop your, let you know what your student ID number is and what your MCC login is. I also plan to let students know when I start registering. So then that way you guys have a heads up on like when to start trying to get into MyWay and get your student ID number, which is just a little delayed right now because they're trying to figure out the tuition waiver. But if you're a student in diesel or web design or web development, you'll have a summer class. And so those students I'm starting to register now. So if you don't have that to me yet and you're in one of those programs, please get that to me as soon as possible. Okay, I'm gonna move on, but then we can go back and we'll answer some more questions here in a minute that might not have been answered chatting. And then I see there's some in the Q&A chats too, you guys. I didn't know if you guys saw that. Sorry, I just noticed that.
Yep, they're asking great questions, so I'm kind of working through them. So you guys, great participation. Appreciate it.
Okay, next is important dates.
So with important dates, so in the packet, there's a list of MCC's important dates. This shows the days that the courses start and end, as well as the dates that MCC's close, like for breaks, for holidays or whatever. Please make sure like you have a good idea of MCC's holiday breaks as opposed to your schools, because they could be very different. MCC's breaks are not as long typically as the high school breaks, and students are still expected to attend courses. So MCC also does not have a spring break. So you guys would be expected to be on campus then as well. So on days when the weather is kind of questionable, and there's some uncertainties there, students can call the MCC weather hotline, and we can I'll drop that number in the chat just to see if classes have been canceled or not. And kind of refer back to the inclement weather brochure that you have in your packet if you want more info on that. Please make sure that if the MCC campus is closed, the Career Academy classes will also then be closed as a result. So if the MCC campus is open, but your high school is closed, you are still responsible for attending your classes through the Career Academy. So just make sure that we don't follow whether it's OPS or Millard or whoever's schedule it is, we do follow our own. So just make sure that you're wary of that.
So this was in the Career Academy packet. This is just an example of what the registration form looks like. So your registration forms are specific to your program area. On the registration form, it also does list the tuition for your classes. So obviously at this point, the tuition portion is waived of that. Some of them that have course fees, those might have also been listed on the registration form, and those will still apply to your account. So like I said, if you haven't gotten this to me yet, please make sure you get this to me very quickly so then I can start getting students into our system and start getting you registered. The consent and release form that was also sent with the registration. So what this does is this gives me permission to go into your classroom and take pictures. I will do that. Faculty members do that. Sometimes our marketing department even goes in and does that. And what we do is we use them for things like this, like the slides. So the students that you see right here are actually diesel students. This was taken during the summer quarter when they were doing their summer class. And our marketing department actually went out and took pictures of them. So I use them for these, for some of our brochures, things like that. We have them on our program cards for Career Academy on our website, things like that. So if you're okay with that, please complete that and send that in with your registration form. And then I will let Ethan take it from here with information about our student portal, which is MyWay.
All right. So this is kind of talking about the password station. So MyWay is kind of MCC student portal. So I know sometimes I remember in high school it was like, can't remember what it was called, but it was like your way of accessing grades and whatnot, and kind of your way of doing your online courses. MyWay is MCC's version of that. This is kind of where you'll be able to access your student email, your schedule for classes, your tuition, books, fees, all those sorts of things. Once you're registered for classes, you'll have a student ID number that's assigned to you and then a login that's generated for you as well. Once that's kind of created, you can step through the directions for the password station to get your account all set up. And if you have questions with that, just feel free to ask. There should be a like get help button as well. The directions are also in the orientation packet that was emailed to you. We can go to the next slide. So once you're logged into your MyWay account, you'll have access to your student email, any online course content in Canvas, your class schedule, all those bits of information. You can see on the screen directions with those arrows on how to access those important items in MyWay, like tuition and your schedule and things of that nature. Your MCC email will be the main form of contact with your instructor. They'll have that with you once you're registered for classes and you get started. This is also in your packet as well. In MyWay, students also have access to Office 365. This includes like Microsoft Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Teams, different things like that are included with Microsoft. So that would be included with that as well. And then
I think one of the questions that I'm gonna, sorry, interrupt. This is a common question that I've seen multiple times. When Ms. Jackie Woods registers you, the Career Academy students, at that point is when you will gain access to your MyWay. You will gain a student ID. That right now has been put on hold as the tuition waive is being processed and all the logistics and process of that are in place. So once Ms. Jackie registers you for the students for your classes, once you're officially registered and you officially become an MCC student, that is when you will gain access to MyWay and you will gain access to your student ID, You have an email assigned to you. So hope that answers the question for everybody.
The portion of what we really wanted to focus on, we are done with, but we will keep this open for a few more minutes. So then that way we can look at any other questions that come up. So please feel free to email us questions about, and I'm going to go into our Q&A to kind of go through what we might still need to answer. So we had a question for students who are going to be in the culinary class. The items that you need, the uniform and the knife set, are you will need to purchase those from MCC, from the bookstore. They have the specific knife sets and the uniforms required in our bookstores or at the Fort Omaha campus. So yes, you will need to get that at our bookstore. If you, this is for Ryan, if you took information technology already, then you don't have to take it with the Career Academy. If it's something that you took through MCC, just send me an email, so then that way I can make sure I mark that on your registration form and not register you for that class. Another question about vaccinations. So students who will be doing the CNA class, the CNA program, they are required to have vaccinations, including the COVID vaccinations. All of that material, the complete CNA application packet that is required for the Health Careers Office, as well as copies of all your vaccinations, are required to be to my office by July 1st. Vaccinations are usually something you can get, or like your records of vaccinations are things that you can get from your doctor's office. And those can then be sent in with the application information. So hopefully I got that question answered. If you have any other questions about that, let me know. Just shoot me an email and I will definitely get that answered. I'm sorry, it keeps like jumping around on me. Once you are email or once you are registered, I will not email your login to you. But what I will do is email out to all the students and let the students know, hey, I've gotten you registered. You can now step through the MyWay guide and the password station to get logged in. You'll be able to get your login information through the password station. And we've had a few people ask about vaccinations. The only people who need vaccination cards are those who are going into the COVID vaccination, or those going into the CNA program. The EMT students will need vaccinations, but since they do not go into a healthcare facility to do their clinical, they do not need the COVID vaccination, but they do need other vaccinations. Tuition waiver, Noah was asking about information about the tuition waiver. So tuition waiver, all Nebraska high school students that are taking a course at MCC will have their tuition waived for the next academic year. This does not include any course fees or textbook fees or any like course materials. Tyler, for welding, you do not have to purchase anything on your own for that. They do have welding helmets and welding jackets in the classroom for you. We do have some students who prefer to have their own and will purchase their own, but it is not required. And then Lucia Hall, send me an email and we can chat about what classes you have questions about for the summer classes you're taking. Also, I'm going to say this as well. This summer, we are also having free tuition for high school students for the summer. Course fees and books are still the student responsibility, but the tuition is waived for high school students this summer as well. If you own a knife set and you're in the culinary program, you cannot use that. You have to use the knife set that is required and that is in the bookstore. Each campus has its own bookstore. So if you're a part of the culinary program, it is at the Fort Omaha campus in building 23. For the CNA program, yes, you do need to have a TB test done. Fire science program is at the Applied Technology Center, which is on 103rd and State Street. Students who are doing the CNA program in the spring quarter, they will need gray scrubs, and those are something that you can purchase at the South Omaha bookstore. For the 3D animation and games program, all of the everything that you need will be free for download for any software you need. It is recommended to have a laptop or desktop computer that is 5 years or newer. Just because with the software, sometimes it can lag and maybe not connect properly. And so if you try to make sure you have something a little newer, and it's recommended to not use a tablet or an iPad, it's recommended to have a laptop or a desktop for that program. Sorry, I'm just kind of start here. And then so a question that came up was, when do classes start? So classes will start at the beginning of September. It's that Tuesday after Labor Day. You do not start your MCC classes until then. So although your high school will start at the beginning or like mid-August, you won't start at MCC until September. And so that time between your school starting and MCC starting, you'll have that chunk of time in the afternoon where you don't have to be with us. And so a lot of students will use that for like study hall to make sure they're getting caught up on everything. Some students pick up extra shifts at work, but yeah, they you don't have to be on campus for that. Let me see. If you would like to do a tour of the program area between now and when you start, definitely reach out to us. We are more than happy to take you through the program area so you know exactly where you need to go. We've done that for quite a few students. Students always love being able to see everything ahead of time, and the faculty love meeting the students ahead of time as well. The faculty will be reaching out to students during the summer quarter to hold like an in-person Zoom. Like I know fire science, they've already sent out an email saying like when they would like to do stuff. Culinary and auto tech, I know they'll do something that last week in August with students, have them come in for a day or two. So make sure you watch your email for that. Once you're registered in classes, all of your emails will be going to your MCC email typically. They do have your email address that you sent to me, but once you're registered, they prefer to start using your Metro email. And so kind of get in the habit of checking that throughout the summer as well. And I'm trying to go through the line. And yes, if you have your own laptop, it would be great, or computer to do things on, that would be great. Just because not all of our classrooms have computers, but we do have, all of our campuses and centers do have a computer lab or a learning and tutoring center where you have access to desktop computers. So if you need to come in and utilize that, please definitely do that. And then for the theater program, your schedule will state what days and times you will have to be at the community playhouse. All of your classes, except for I think an online class, will be at the community playhouse. You'll actually be working on the productions that they do at the playhouse. So you're going to be really just automatically in the weeds of the community playhouse theater program. And then the diesel classes for summer. Connor, I'm going to have to email you on that one because I don't remember the exact date. It is in an email that was sent to you and it's on the registration form, but I will make a note to email you about that. For COVID vaccinations, a booster is not currently required.
Jackie, just to emphasize again, the CNA is the only career academy that requires the COVID vaccination, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
just
yes,
again, somebody anonymous asked, it's only for the CNA. So only CNA.
Yep, only CNA. Students, once you are registered for your classes, then that's when you will be able to see your schedule and see where your class will be and what building it's in. If you're still confused about it, once you get your schedule, just let me know. And then I can make sure you get the information you need. And then somebody asked if you can rent a book rather than buying. Definitely you can. It's textbook rentals can be a little tricky sometimes, but you definitely can. You can also go on to Metro's website, the bookstore website, see what the ISBN number is for the book and what the title is, and you can look on Amazon as well to see if they have it. So you don't necessarily have to buy it from MCC's bookstore, but they have them all available at the MCC bookstore. But the information is also on their website. So then that way, if you prefer to buy it in another way or rent it, you can definitely do that. For cinematography and filmmaking, you do not need to have any equipment. Everything will be supplied for you. Electrical program, there will be some things that you'll have to buy, and they will give you that information the first couple of days of class. Sorry, I'm going down the line. Welding does not have a summer class, Nathan. And let's see. You do not need a new laptop for marketing, no. You will be good, Lucia. Construction technology, you will have your initial toolkit that you will use for the entire year purchased for you. So the Builders Foundation actually will purchase those for students. And those are things that you get to keep and take with you once you are done. And then auto tech, no special equipment is needed. Everything is provided for you in the classroom. Same with diesel and auto body. And then for the student who needs their student ID for a class in the summer, let us know and we will just shoot me an email and we can help you get through that. But you can also go through the password station in the packet, the orientation packet. It has the step-by-step for the password station, so you can get that in. And then Morgan, I'll reach out to you. Nadia or I will reach out to you on those products and let you know what you need and like how much it might cost. But I can get a list for you from the instructors, Morgan. And then plumbing, everything is provided for you, Kelton. And 3D is also provided. I'm hoping we're getting everything. I feel like I want to make sure we're not missing anything. If we did, if there is something that like we missed and we didn't cover that you have questions on, or you're just like, I don't really want to ask in like a big setting and you prefer to just email us, please do so. Our email address is here on the screen, but you can also, I've emailed you guys all a few times already. Email me or call me. That's what I'm here for. That's my job, is to help you guys have a smooth transition and have an enjoyable first college experience.
Okay, I'm going to answer a couple questions that came up here as well that I did not see, so I do apologize. The question about sports and having to miss class for sports. The key thing is you have to talk to your instructors ahead of time and make up that time you are going to miss. As soon as you find out, hey, we're making it to districts and we're going to be gone tomorrow, let your instructor know. They are going to work with you. But if you let them know, hey, yesterday I missed class because we made it the finals, that's not going to be an excusable absence, and it is going to, that could potentially cost you to get removed from the career academy. But as long as you let the instructor know ahead of time, they will be willing to work with you. Make sure you complete the assignments ahead of time. Jackie, the other question that came up is On the registry, when the student asks for gender, does it want gender assigned at birth or preferred gender orientation?
You can do preferred. That is fine. All right, do we miss anything else?
Yes, these new questions came up. Again, a clarification, 2022 to 2023 school year for the Academic Career Academy students will have tuition waived. In addition to that, this summer, we are offering College Now for free, so students can take an additional 3 classes with tuition waived again. So this summer and next year for Career Academy students, the classes and tuition is going to be waived. And there's no HVAC classes in the summer. I do want to let you know that students that are in a trade class, HVAC, automotive, electrical, plumbing, welding, if you are in a trade class, I'm going to go ahead and enter my contact information. You should have already gotten a text message from me indicating, hey, just a little congratulations on being accepted. Please feel free to reply to me, contact me. Both Ethan and I are your early career navigators when it comes to the trade program. So feel free to reach out to me, Ethan, or Jackie if you have any questions. And then both Ethan and I are going to be at the Career Academy classes at some point throughout the, not just once, but multiple times throughout the school year. So please feel free to ask us questions, and we will also be visiting you at your high school. So feel free to say hi and ask us questions, or just let us know how things are going.
Yeah, that is going to conclude our webinar this evening, our orientation. Like I said, if anything comes up that we didn't cover, please email us or call us. We are here to answer any of those questions. If we, for some reason, don't know it, then we will definitely find out for you. And we are all so excited for you guys to get started in the fall and for diesel and web development in the summer. And again, if you would like to come to campus or the center that you're going to, and you would like to check it out to see like where to go exactly and just to see the program area, let us know. We are more than happy to show you around, and because we get to show off our programs and we love that. So again, thank you so much for logging in. We appreciate it so very much. And if you have any questions, please reach out and let us know. All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.